It is Sunday, January the 28th, 2018, Wrestleview Live, number 29. Time to talk about the Royal Rumble. Holy shit. That's all I can say right now. A lot happened at the end of the show, and I'll get into my responsibilities. I'm sure most people know my responsibilities, but this was a rare one. I'll talk about what my last 5 to 10 minutes was like. Welcome to the podcast. We're live on YouTube. Of course, you can subscribe to us throughout the live broadcast or while we're off the air. Look up Wrestleview Radio on YouTube, or just type in Wrestleview. Search that in the little search bar, and you can subscribe to us on this wonderful program. And we're going to be providing an audio version of this podcast on SoundCloud and iTunes. Just search Wrestleview Media. I am flustered. Sorry. That was a lot to take in. Doug Lackey back on the podcast with me. Douglas, how are you, sir?
You're flustered. I'm flustered.
That was a lot to take in. So, I called you really fast because normally I always have that pre-show text like, oh, I'll have everything set up and ready to go. Even if they go a little long, I'll have everything ready to go. We'll just flip the switch and we'll go. And then Ronda Rousey decided to walk out tonight at the Royal Rumble. And that threw me for a little bit of a loop there tonight. So, yeah, we got a lot to talk about, and mainly it's going to be Royal Rumble discussion. But oh boy, that was quite the show tonight. And we were debating, because I know we're the guys that complain about the shows being 4 hours long. I don't think we're going to have that conversation. At least I don't anticipate having that kind of a conversation tonight on the podcast. But I thought. What a way. I just feel like we have to start with how they ended the show tonight. If you, for some strange reason, did not watch the Royal Rumble, and I'm sure there's some people that watch our shows or listen that don't watch, Ronda Rousey, the former UFC women's champion, bantamweight champion, walked out after Asuka won the first ever women's Rumble tonight. And, there was going into the show, I guess somebody caught her at an airport, and she's like, well, I'm going to... I think she said she was going to somewhere in Canada and she was filming a movie.
I'm in Colombia.
Is that where she said she was?
I'm in Bogota, Colombia. Check out my Instagram. I'm in Colombia.
Yeah, she did good. That was smart of her. She did a good job.
Yeah.
She tricked everybody tonight, so that was good. That was the one thing I do like about the Rumble is when we can be surprised and kind of tricked, and because I think we get so caught up in wanting to know everyone backstage, and it creates for a fun day on the internet when you can kind of talk about oh, I saw this person backstage and this person's been spotted. But it's kind of fun when someone, and granted, the Ronda Rousey thing's not earth shattering. We knew she was talking to the WWE. We know she's been meeting with Triple H. We know this has been a rumor for a while, but to actually see it go down was pretty cool tonight. So she walked out and tried to shake hands with Asuka. Asuka slapped it away, and we actually don't really know who Asuka is going to challenge at WrestleMania. And then you had Ronda pointing to the WrestleMania sign, and there was just a whole bunch of stuff tonight, Douglas. So we got to unpack. So I know you're not a big mixed martial arts person, but how do you unpack this when you see someone like her walk out who has no history with professional wrestling, but is a big wrestling fan and was so huge in the world of mixed martial arts for so many years after they had this big monumental women's Rumble thing tonight?
I'm for it. I guess what I really like is that it really makes things so much more interesting for WrestleMania, just because it's always around about this time or even a month before that when they announce that the Rumble is going to be happening, and they announce all the entrants. Even when there's a women's Rumble for the first time going at it, everyone starts armchair booking WrestleMania. And it's pretty much out of the gate. Everyone was making their picks for the women's Rumble, and Asuka being the predominant pick. And everyone's, okay, so it's going to be Alexa Bliss. Well, what's Charlotte going to do? Oh, she's probably going to go against Becky Lynch. And so it makes everything, when you start armchair booking WrestleMania so early, you kind of start to, you're losing your enthusiasm for wanting to see the show. Thank God for Ronda Rousey. Thank God for that. So now we really know we're at least having 2 women's matches going on at the WrestleMania, but we still really don't know what those 2 are going to be.
No.
Sure, we can go ahead and say that it would be Asuka and Alexa and maybe Rousey going against Charlotte, but honestly, it could be flip-flopped. It could be Charlotte Asuka and Alexa Rousey, and so it makes it so much more interesting. I'm definitely psyched for it. And it's kind of weird too that not just Rousey's appearance kind of getting you interested in the women's division, because can we be a little honest? The women's divisions in both shows were kind of falling a little flat. It needed a jump start of some kind, and Rousey is definitely one to do that, and this Rumble match was definitely one to do that too.
You thought tonight felt flat?
Well, no, not tonight. Really didn't fall flat.
No, okay.
No, not at all. No, it's just before this show.
Oh, okay.
And when it came to the women's division was feeling flat.
Oh, okay, that's what you're saying. I get it.
The division itself was feeling flat.
Sure.
But after this show and after the Rumble and the Rousey appearance, I guess, I'm pretty interested in the women's division now.
And not just the women's division, like the overall, I would say, interest level. And it's just because obviously it's this time of the year, but like, man, I was getting real bored with WWE. It was becoming monotonous to cover SmackDown. And even when we would do the brand only pay-per-view coverage coming on here, and it was just like, ugh, like it's just the same stuff over and over again. And I want to talk about this at some point. I don't want to divert too much from the conversation, but like the night before, I only watched the Johnny Gargano Almas main event. I'm not a regular NXT viewer. I totally parachuted in. That was the only match I watched. I loved every second of that, and I saw some very mixed reviews on the Wrestleview Media Facebook page. But I felt I had so much fun watching that, Doug. I had so much fun watching both Rumble matches tonight. There's just something about this match, and I know that people get into like over analyzation mode, and I know we've had the like post Roman Reigns, people getting pissed off about him being involved in the matches or winning or getting close. Like I know we've had all that stuff, and I loved, and we'll talk about the men's match and how they had him towards the end. But like for the first time in a long time, I'm like, wow, I'm really looking forward to WWE programming. And I don't know if that's nostalgia tricking me, Doug, because of how nostalgic the 25th anniversary episode of Raw was last Monday. And then we had more nostalgia tonight with people showing up in both the men's and the women's Rumble match. And then Ronda Rousey's walking out and everything's breaking on the internet that she signed a full-time deal with the company now. And it's like, whew, like they went really hard this last week. Like, and it's not going to be over with. They still have Raw tomorrow night. They have SmackDown again on Tuesday in Philadelphia. So like we're only 2 days into a 4-day, powerhouse of WWE right now.
Yeah, we're halfway through. We're halfway through. Yeah, pretty much. But I'm just man, that was I you know what I really liked about the women's match tonight too is that, and I guess this is I'm glad we're starting with this because we might as well talk about the one elephant in the room, is that the last time you and I did a podcast together at the end of 2017, we both said there's no way they're doing a women's Royal Rumble match. And I think the reason we said that, if I recall correctly, was they just didn't have enough female talent to fill a 30 women's, Rumble match. And I didn't think it was crazy to think that at the time. And of course, 24 hours later, they have the announcement, and then we had people going like, oh. But, we're never, this idea that everyone that... I don't mind being wrong, and it's for a great reason, okay? Yeah. I mean, come on. Yeah. I don't like being right all the time.
Yeah. This idea that we're going to be accurate about everything we talk about on a wrestling podcast is just silly.
Who do you think we are, Skip Bayless? Come on.
I know. Anybody that... And what's funny is there are people in the wrestling media that pretend like that everything they say is true and gospel, and they're never wrong. And it's like... People have to be, and we were wrong. I totally admit we were wrong, and I'm glad we were wrong because I was really, really surprised at how good this match was tonight. And it's the subtlety. And now, granted, I think the one obstacle they're going to face is you can't have like Trish and Beth Phoenix and Jackie and Molly Holly and people like this showing up in the Rumble every year. And maybe the roster gets bigger in the women. Now, granted, they're signing female talent to NXT, and that's changing, but you can't do the nostalgia thing every year, so that's going to be an obstacle that they're going to have to fight. That's one thing that is to the advantage of the men's match, is that they can announce, 15, 16, 17, 18 guys ahead of time, and then they know they have some leeway to bring back some old stars, and that's what people tend to look forward to that. So that in a sense is fun, and that's the one fun aspect of the Royal Rumble that I do like. What I think the women's challenge is going to be, you can't bring out Trish Stratus now every year. You can't bring out Beth now. You can't. I mean, there's other female talent that did not appear tonight that I'm sure they could use, but I thought they delivered. I mean, when I realized they were going to close that, I was like, oof, I don't know about that. But of course, obviously, the big reason they closed that tonight was because of Ronda coming out. But I thought it was really, really well done, and a lot of women surprising me athletically. Like Beth Phoenix still looked great in the ring. Jacqueline looked awesome in the ring. Molly Holly looked awesome in the ring. Trish looked awesome in the ring. You know, like Tori and Michelle McCool and Kelly Kelly had a couple slip-ups.
Yeah, can we talk about Tori Wilson? Holy crap. Holy hell. Yeah. Where did she come from?
So I've been following her on Instagram for a couple of years, and she is like Miss Fitness Guru. Like, she is in incredible shape for her age. You want to guess? Now, again, I know this is a sensitive subject for women when you talk about their age and how much
you want me to guess what her age is.
How old do you think Tori Wilson is?
God, this is going to sound horrible to me. She's got to be in her 40s.
She's 42. Doesn't look 42. But in incredible shape. She's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, just amazing. And that's the one unfortunate thing that women are going to get more than guys, is that their looks are going to be judged more than guys. Like, like Scott Hall could come back with like a pot belly, and people would be like, yeah, well, but he's got
a toothpick.
Yeah, he's got a toothpick, Doug. He's got the hair. And it's like, yeah, they don't care. But like with women, they're going to really focus on their looks, because unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, depending on who you are, that's a lot of what they focused on in the early days of women's wrestling in this company was, was somebody good looking? Could they figure out a way to help them wrestle in the ring? That was the thing with Trish. I mean, she was hired mainly because of her looks, and then eventually she just became a really good professional wrestler. And then there's obviously some other people in the mix that were just really good wrestlers, and the looks thing was just secondary for that. But the whole, like, just having all those people come back, Trish and Beth and Jackie, I mean, they just, it was really, really, really well done. And I'm glad, I'm 100% happy to be totally wrong about thinking they couldn't pull it off, because they definitely pulled it off tonight. Big time.
I guess it's really unfair for me to compare this to the 25th anniversary show of Raw, where, there was so much negativity about the show, but yet they still had the same amount of probably cameo appearances they had for that as you might have had for this show here with the Rumble, especially on the women's side. Every female that showed up in the Rumble match was on the 25th anniversary show of Raw. So if you didn't get any hints or anything, that's what would have shown up. But the thing is, the Royal Rumble match is meant for the cameo appearances. It's meant for the nostalgia acts. But what's so interesting about the Rumble match is that it is still part of the main show of WWE programming. It is still part of their main storylines. And so you can incorporate those nostalgia acts and cameo appearances into something that is going on your main program line. You can't do that on a 25th anniversary show of Raw, trying to continue storylines and insert all of these people that you want to member. Okay, it just doesn't. It isn't cohesive at all. But when it comes to the Royal Rumble, it all falls into place so beautifully. Okay, in relation to the women's match and I get you, apprehension about, well, you can't be having these nostalgia acts every year. Okay, though I would love to see Molly Holly every year. Okay, we know it's not going to happen. But the thing is, they just earlier last year had the Mae Young Classic. They've got women they can introduce in NXT, and I give them all the faith in the world in 1 year's time that they can build enough characters in that time in NXT and possibly shift them into the WWE main line and then bring some more into NXT and keep the assembly line churning, so that the next Women's Royal Rumble that comes up is going to be just like the Men's Royal Rumble, where you're only going to have 2 or 3 nostalgia acts, a good handful of NXT talent, but the rest of them on the main roster. it is absolutely doable. The only problem is, again, it is all dependent on bringing the women up into NXT, building them so that when you do have them on the Rumble, they are recognizable. Kind of like how Kairi Sane was and Ember Moon was. Kairi Sane, again, she's only been on NXT, I believe now, for probably the past 5 months. And people recognize her. She's got a look. She's got a gimmick. God, the fucking elbow drop. I can watch that every day.
It's beautiful.
But it is so gorgeous. But at the same time, I watch it going, holy crap, her hip is going to be misaligned by about 50 centimeters.
She lands so hard. I mean, it's beautiful, but man.
It's gorgeous, but she is not going to be able to walk straight in 3 years, okay? But it's gorgeous to watch. But again, and Ember Moon comes up, and you recognize her. She's been on the NXT roster for over a year and a half now. So it's about building the people in NXT to bring them onto the Royal Rumble so that everyone recognizes them and you get a decent pop for, okay? It's sad that Sarah Logan and Liv and Mandy Rose and all them did not get the pops that Kairi Sane and Ember Moon got, even though they were in NXT for just as long as they were.
And they've been on SmackDown for months now, so...
They've been on mainstream television for at least 2 months now.
At least, yeah.
Okay, so that tells you something, okay? It tells you that when it comes to this show in particular, the Royal Rumble, and also WrestleMania, SummerSlam, the Big Four, those four, they've always had the NXT TakeOver shows before that. And they promoting the hell out of it that the TakeOver shows are going on Saturday before one of the Big Four. So most people are tuning in to see the NXT show to follow it into one of the Big Four pay-per-views, and then you'll get the reaction from that.
Sure.
So there's a lot of residual effects that the WWE needs to be dependent on for the Women's Royal Rumble to work.
Bronx was saying in the chat that they made Nia Jax look real good tonight. I definitely agree with that. She just even the fact that, you know, she got kind of booted out of the match for a little bit, and then
no one looked bad at all in that entire match.
Everybody just kind of it made sense. Even like Dana Brooke looked really good. Like I think she tossed out Molly Holly, I think, if I want to say.
Yeah.
So and then, you know, I was not expecting Lita. There was a build up to that on the internet a little bit about how she was on the chairs for the 25th anniversary Raw, but she was actually not invited to the show, and she went. But obviously she knew she was booked for the Rumble, so she was totally playing that to her favor. So she was like, well, I guess I got left out of the Raw 25th anniversary, and shucks, and she was just totally having fun with that.
Well, that gives me more time to do some grocery shopping.
Exactly.
Well, yeah.
Shucks. But
what are you going to do?
Michelle McCool got a little nervous, got a little panicky, but then she eventually, slid into it. I loved the reaction for Lana when she walked out, and of course, like the Rusev Day things, but her just smiling and going hello, and she's great.
I just love her. I mean, dear God, just slap women in the face and throw them to the ground and tug at their hair.
She's great.
Okay, that's women's wrestling right there.
She's so awesome. I was gonna say Vicky Guerrero was great tonight, by the way. I was not expecting Vicky to come out. Her voice, the way it pierces over that mic is so great. And it's just like a gift. I remember, and Stephanie was on the mic going like, oh, like she was on the commentary making noises like Jesus. And Vicky was great. I got nervous when they threw Vicky over the top rope and she's wearing these heels and she kind of like bended backwards. And I'm like, oh, I hope she doesn't like rupture her Achilles or pull a muscle or something, because it's funny, it's funny to me how basic the top rope, going over the top rope thing is, but yet you can really hurt yourself, and there's just a multitude of things. You can get caught up in the ropes a lot of times.
You don't judge that apron. If you don't judge that apron,
if you don't judge the apron, you're screwed, and you could hit the ropes weird, you could hit the ring apron weird. If you go over too fast, sometimes you'll hit the ground weird, and so many people have just, it's kind of a scary move, just to be a simple toss, but so many bad things could happen. But I loved Vicky tonight. Were you surprised? I'm going to not totally change my mind a little bit, but I've talked about how bored I've been with Sasha Banks, for close to maybe a year. I just have no idea what this girl's doing from a character presentation standpoint. And when she tossed out Bayley, and was smiling. I was like, can we just have this Sasha Banks back, please? The mean, I don't care what anybody thinks, I rip up flowers at ringside, and please bring back that Sasha Banks. Because, you know, when she got eliminated at the end and Nikki Bella did the loser thing to her, and I was just like, and she was pissed. I was like, can we just, I'm ready for something.
The heel, you want the heel. And Sasha is what you want.
And I hate doing the like, turn her heel thing, but it's like,
but that's what you're doing. Yeah.
She needs it, man. I'm just done with whatever she's been doing for a year now. It's just, she's so good as a heel that they need to go back to that, because we saw a lot of that in the NXT days. But Trish looked great, by the way. Didn't botch. I was expecting some botches. I was really surprised to see both the Bella girls in there tonight, especially Brie. I was not expecting that at all. That was a night. There's just a pleasant surprise, and just how much it was fun, Doug. I'm sitting here and I'm in a good mood. I had fun, and we're just surrounded by this like cloud of negativity with wrestling fans for so often that I'm like, I almost don't want to read too much feedback to the show, because I'm going to be like, really? But I loved it.
No, you should.
I loved it.
Okay. I know I always preach forever that, you know, the 3 words you should always live by in your life is don't scroll down. No, this is one of those shows that you are so comfortable with yourself that you had a good time watching, for whatever reasons that may be, for whatever matches those may be. You are comfortable with yourself that you can scroll down and just don't reply to stuff. Just point and laugh at how some people just still don't get it. And I think the best quote that I can think of comes from Matthew from Botchamania, is that the people that hate wrestling the most are pro wrestling fans. Okay. So just take it in, enjoy the whole thing. The whole show, honestly, and this is just weird for me, the whole show is fantastic. I cannot think of a bad thing that happened in this entire show. Yeah. And that's really, really difficult to think about with the past pay-per-views that we've had.
And I know one match people might have had some issue with, and we'll talk about that. By the way,
sure.
Thank you to the owner and webmaster of Wrestleview, Paul Nemmer, for subscribing to his own website's YouTube channel just now. It just popped up on screen. I thought that was funny.
He likes us.
He
really likes us.
He does like us. He was here last Monday doing a good podcast with us. Do we want to take a little bit of a breather and save the men's rumble, or do you want to just go into that next? I'll give you
I'll tell you what. Why don't you just let's throw a dart at the board, and whatever comes up, that's the thing we talk about.
Let's talk about what I think people might have had an issue with, and that was let's do that. The Universal Championship. And I think actually Mike Tedesco,
bring it on. I gotta hear this.
So Mike Tedesco made an interesting point, and he was obviously there live tonight, and he was tweeting his little heart away. By the way, speaking of Mike, I have to put this on the screen, Doug. He had an opportunity
to get that picture up there.
He met old Paul Heyman, and this is my favorite thing that Paul Heyman does when he meets people. He does the like disgusted glare at somebody, and Mike's face was even better. So I had to share this tonight on the podcast. But apparently everyone thinks Mike looks like Bubba Ray Dudley's son in this photo, and I'm not seeing that one. But I had more than one person tell me that he looked like Bubba Ray Dudley, and he was not a fan of that critique there.
Heyman just has a look at his face like, and you're not even in your mid-30s yet?
Who are you? Yeah, I love that picture. So
look at that hairline. My hair is better than yours. Dear
I love that photo. So good job, Mike. And Mike apparently, and we'll talk about who we just bumped into, but he made a point on Twitter that the one critique people may have about Brock Lesnar matches, thank you to Anthony Jokey for subscribing to us on YouTube, we appreciate it, is that when Brock wrestles, people tend to know he's going to win. And that's a problem for some people, is that it's hard for them to get into the storytelling aspect if they know that he's going to most likely win. And I do get that critique, and I know that there's been a lot of critique on Brock Lesnar as a performer. The fact that he is not, consistently on television. He will do rare, house shows. He did wrestle this past weekend against Kane at a show. I think it was in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. So he will have the occasional house show appearance, live event appearance. But for the most part, he's not on television every week. And we know that, because that's kind of been the MO with Brock since he's been with this company for over 5 years now.
Yeah.
But I thought that was an interesting, and it wasn't necessarily Mike's critique. He just said he noticed that, thank you to you just made the list for subscribing. That, that's what people think when he comes out. I still love the roar of the crowd when Brock walks out. There's no other talent on the roster that creates that roar. Thank you to Lewis, by the way, for subscribing. No, there's no other, like, who else has a roar like that where like he walks out and they go, oh shit. Like I know like Braun gets a unique reaction. And there's obviously people that get reactions, but there's no, listen to it. If you didn't see it, go back, listen to the sound that the crowd makes when Brock walks out. It's just a unique, like, woof, like no one else gets that. But what do you make of that critique? And then obviously, the match itself, because the match was a little sloppy, but I didn't hate it. I didn't think it was bad at all.
Are we seriously getting, instead of Cena boo birds and Roman boo birds, we're now getting Brock boo birds because he wins all the time? Come on.
Maybe.
Stop it right now. Come on. Let's go ahead and just first let's look at for reality's sake. Let's step away from this sports fantasy realm and look at reality's sake. This man has a substantial contract. He is going to be in the main event in many a pay-per-view for a very long time as champion and stay as champion. This is going to happen, okay? The point, though, is for him to make it entertaining, because they can put the kibosh on it any time if it is not entertaining. Every single match that he has been in as champion has been entertaining as all get out. No one should be complaining about the matches that he's having. If you're complaining about the result, my God, find a new hobby, because it ain't going to change. And if you're not finding anything entertaining about his matches, then there is something seriously wrong with you. And pops aside, let's even set aside the entrance pop. If he's not getting the attention, then why is everyone paying attention to Paul Heyman? They're talking along with him, chanting with him alongside Brock Lesnar. If they want this to continue, they need Brock to win so that Paul Heyman won't be able to be on a microphone and they can chant alongside with him. So it's kind of a catch 2020 here, kids. Okay, which one do you want? Apart from that, we've said it before about Brock Lesnar's matches, how they always have this great chaotic feel. It feels so chaotic, but it's so weird is that this guy has been with the company now over 5 years since his return, but every match has felt so chaotic when he's in there, because yes, he doesn't appear on television all the time, and you can complain about that all you want, but he does not have the mannerisms of a superstar. Okay. He just doesn't do it. Okay. He is his own person. And what you see is what you get. And when he has a match, that's what you're getting is him. Holy crap. He takes a knee from Braun. That did not feel good.
No.
So he wanted to let Braun know, hey, that did not feel good.
I'm glad you brought that up, because
my God, that set the whole match. Right there.
I couldn't find the knee, Doug, and I tried to find like a GIF or a video, but
that knee was rough.
I found there's this great, and I always suggest these people to follow on Twitter. There's this great Twitter account called TDE Wrestling. It's at Total Divas EPS, and they used to just cover Total Divas, and now they do GIFs as all live wrestling takes place. And look at this. So after Brock took the knee from Braun, he fucking hit him with a right hook. Now, granted, he didn't go full bore, but if you notice,
square,
they muted the broadcast audio because Brock was fucking pissed. Because he was, that was a stiff knee and I don't know if Braun just stepped into it weird, but Brock literally stood up and went boom and just fucking nailed Braun. Now, he didn't hit him full bore. It was a very simple, it was almost like a combination of a hook and a jab. But it was definitely a hook. But man, that's a dude who has fought professionally. You don't want, now granted, Brock was not this high caliber striker in mixed martial arts by no means whatsoever. But man, you don't want to get hit by the dude. That doesn't feel good. And when he just nailed Braun, it was nasty. And that just added, Doug, to the intensity of the match. Of that, it's chaotic, it's a little sloppy, but it keeps your attention. It's just a monster. It was very similar to the match we talked about. Was it Great Balls of Fire, where it was Samoa Joe, Braun Strowman, Brock Lesnar.
Oh, SummerSlam. Yeah, SummerSlam.
Or SummerSlam, rather. I'm sorry. There were so many shows. But it was all the monsters getting in there. It was Godzilla and the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and, you know, all these monsters just battling. And that's tonight.
Flying. I mean, they're flying. They are not, there's no rest spots. They are flying, okay? Would you ever think that a match like, just put it out there, triple threat match, Brock Lesnar and, you know, Braun Strowman, and you know it's going to be a chaotic match. But did you really ever think that Kane would be able to keep up with it as well?
No, not at all.
No way in hell. And he sure as hell did. The spots the segments and spots that they had for him fit perfectly into this chaotic structure that Brock and Braun were putting together. Okay. For the love of God, I know everyone is complaining that we're probably going to see Brock and Roman at WrestleMania. Oh, hell no. God, we need more Brock and Braun. More of it. Every day. Every year. Okay? Re-sign Brock just so we can have that match. Every year. Okay? It's just, oh my God, just those two moves is just what's flooring me because it's replaying in my mind. But yeah, that set the tone. And for the love of God, the announcing was fantastic. Okay? So many times we complain about how Booker T just can't get his words right.
Yeah, well.
But for some reason, when it is a Brock match or a Braun match, he is spot on. Okay? He is spontaneous. He's not listening to the bullet points. He's not trying to get storylines across or anything. He's just do reaction shots. That's all Booker has to do, and it falls in perfectly. Graves, by God, you're going to give Godzilla a machine gun?
Yeah, he was good.
Oh, my. And Cole, everyone's always complained about Cole. But I got to say, this past year has been his best work. And it's because of Braun and his reactions to Braun. Okay? Brock and Braun have turned up the quality of WWE programming all around. Way up through the roof. Mm-hmm. And if you cannot spot this, and if you're just going ho-hum with this, then I have no faith for you as a human being. Okay, seriously. You have no pulse. Okay? I was at the edge of my seat for that triple threat match.
I loved it.
It's chaotic. Braun, he's throwing tables everywhere. Oh God, Braun's rearranging furniture again. Come on. What is not to laugh and love about this match?
And there's going to be a big difference between a match like that and guys like Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins that are flipping around, and you know, there's just it's just going to be a different vibe. And I guess I don't know if people just set their expectations too high, but I love that stuff. I'm still enjoying it. I know it's a little sloppy, but I mean that's kind of just kind of the vibe of those matches, so I have no problem with it. But I enjoyed the perspective that Mike gave us on Twitter.
Yeah.
And he said he actually bumped into he just oh my God, Mike just got a picture with Jinder Mahal, so we'll have to Mike's just everywhere. I'm gonna save this and toss this one up on the stream if I can get it to me. But he said he just met up he just saw Brock and Paul Heyman at the bar. And he said he asked him how he was feeling after the knee, and I guess Brock shouted that it was a little bit of a rough night, and he was smiling. But yeah, Mikey's just been killing it for us on the old Twitter. He goes he was telling me the entire night. He's like, oh man, I can't wait to like share pictures and share my experience. And he was just on point for us tonight. So I can't say thank you enough to Mikey. I'll get that up there in a little bit. We'll have him tweet it out. Actually, if he could just tweet it out, that'd be lovely.
Yeah, just tweet it out, big guy.
Yeah, we'll tweet it out. So let's talk about the men's rumble, because there's so much to unpack there too. We had to start with the women's one with how they ended it, obviously. Again, I thought they knocked it out of the park with the men's match too. I thought both rumble matches were great, and I was real nervous about presenting two of these, because we've had those like where we've had shows with two elimination chamber matches, And I was kind of like, oh, like I always
We've
remember.
had Hell in a Cell pay-per-views with 3 or 4 Hell in a Cell matches.
Yes, exactly. And you think about that and you saw how some of those shows went good, some of those shows went kind of bad. But I loved the surprises again tonight. Was not expecting the Hurricane Shane Helms to show up tonight.
I was totally expecting that. He was so trolling everyone on Twitter about that. He was tweeting out, "Who would I like to see show up at the Royal Rumble?" Oh, shut up!
Oh, shut up, Shane.
Oh, shut up! Just show up, okay? Just tell us what number you are. Come on.
I loved seeing him back. That was phenomenal tonight. I was not expecting Rey Mysterio at all.
That was a shock.
So there's been a lot of discussion that he was talking with Anthem to come in and debut for Impact, and it just didn't work out. He's been doing stuff with Lucha Underground. That's over with now. He got in phenomenal shape, and I'm not trying to say that like Ray got like lazy and fat. He just definitely wasn't. He wasn't in the same shape that he was in his like 2003, 2004 days. And he just bulked up and put on a lot of muscle when he did stuff with Lucha Underground and when he left and went back to Mexico. But man, he got an incredible shape for tonight and he looked great. He didn't miss a beat. No botching. There's always that like kind of fear of when someone gets back in there and you're kind of wondering like, when they start going and they go really fast.
Oh, you're afraid. Yeah, you're afraid of them getting Scooby-Doo feet or something like that.
Yeah. Scooby-Doo feet is the best way to describe that because that's definitely what happens. But man, he was in great shape. He looked really good. I love the stuff they did with Heath Slater where, I guess I should backtrack.
Let's go and backtrack. Yeah.
Baron Corbin getting eliminated and then just beating the shit out of everybody was awesome. I loved that. And just how mad he got and pulling everybody out of the ring. And then right as Heath Slater's walking out, he just clotheslines Heath Slater and Slater is just on the outside for another 10, 15 minutes just trying to recover.
He's out there for the next 7 or 8 entrants.
Yeah, that was great. So everyone got like a little shot at him, like Big E tried to put pancakes in his mouth. And yeah, Elias kind of kicked him on when he walked by. And
playing his guitar while
playing his guitar and kicked him. And it was so good. So I love the stuff with Corbin. I actually thought it was interesting for them to have Ty Dillinger get beat up backstage. And then Sammy's like, I got this. And then he runs out. I thought that was actually really fun. Fucking crowd loves Rusev Day.
Oh hell!
I had to bring up Rusev Day. Talk about your boy because he's leads the Rumble tonight. Rusev opened the Rumble tonight with Finn, and wow, Rusev Day is. And I know it's Philadelphia. It's a lot of the snarky snarks, but Rusev Day has been very popular on SmackDown.
It's been carrying it over for the past month and a half now. And it has not been with the snarky people.
No.
It's been at every arena they go to.
Yeah.
It is caught. The thing was so Aiden English comes out, and I'm going, oh my god, if it's starting with English and Rusev, and we're going to get 90 full seconds of them singing and hearing the crowd chant Rusev Day, give it to me. Oh, for the love of God, yes, just do it. Just milk this for all it's worth. Okay.
He's popular.
But Rusev, can you imagine 3 years ago, we saw this Joker come out in a tank in WrestleMania, the greatest foreigner heel to come out since, I don't even count Kozlov as one. Okay. I'd say probably the best foreigner heel since Muhammad Hassan.
They almost got there with Kozlov, but they kind of just let it drift away on ECW.
It drifted away, but Rusev was the greatest foreigner heel since Muhammad Hassan.
Yes.
And now to look at him 3 years later, and he is ultra super duper babyface. Okay. But he's kind of a tweener because he's been doing stuff against the New Day, but he's having fun matches. Okay. He's been having these fun matches, interacting with the crowd. I sure as hell never saw this. Okay. Milk this for all it's worth, because in due time, in the next maybe 12 to 15 months, and I throw these numbers out there because I'm being as conservative as possible, that heel swerve is going to be so fantastic.
It's going to be lovely.
It will be incredible. People booing him left and right. Oh, boy. And just imagine him flattening Aiden English or just flattening random people that chant Rusev Day. It'll happen.
Okay.
but the chips are in line for Rusev is a mainstay on this roster. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
For forever. All right. Heath Slater, by God, we finally have a comic relief character that took the place of Santino. Okay. This guy is fantastic. Okay. Just to see him get beat up after every entrant that's coming out. He just can't help himself. And on top of it all, he gets back into the ring and eliminates somebody. And he's all fired up about it. He's all jacked up about it and everything.
So good.
Yeah, he finally gets his comeuppance. Yeah, hell yeah, I finally did something. And then he gets thrown out of the ring.
Oh, that was so good. That was so good. This was just one of those really well organized Rumbles. Like, whoever booked this tonight, because I know there's been some rough patches, there's been some rough years, and whoever tossed this one together, man, I loved having a couple NXT guys show up, having Adam Cole come out, having the NXT champion Almas come out. That was great, and he lasted. I think Almas was in there towards the end. I think. I want to say he was. When was he eliminated? I'm just looking at my roster here.
Oh, okay, hold on. I got to get my fantasy roster notes.
Adam Cole got eliminated after him. So
he was eliminated 18th.
Okay, so
he came in number 7.
Yeah, he was in there for a while. He was in there for a long time. So I thought that was really cool to see him in there. So yeah, I mean, I loved the booking of this. I mean, obviously there was a couple dudes in there that, you could have done. I mean, you gotta fill the space. They did the typical Kofi Kingston crazy. I loved how he almost gets eliminated, but he ends up stepping on the chest of Xavier Woods, and Woods is like, ah, and they all started freaking out, and then they put him on the pancakes, and that one was pretty funny. That was entertaining. I'm looking at just some other stuff that, by the way, the Roman Reigns trigger, as Mike referred to it as, was great. Number 28, of course, the booing. There's just something about the Roman booing is just so, it's so awesome. I love it. It's just that whole, you know what? Do you think we'd get copyright snagged if we play the clip that Mike Tedesco recorded on his phone?
No, not at all, because he's the one that recorded it.
I was going to say, I was like, how dare them if they try to.
Oh, not at all. Let's go ahead and play that.
All right, let's see if I can get this up here. So this was phenomenal, by the way, just to hear the reaction to it. Let me get it up here. Okay. I'm not going to try to blow everybody's ears out, so I'm going to do it at about 50 because I think it's pretty loud. Let me just bring this down and I'll bring it up when it comes up. So here we go. Listen to this. Can we? Hold on. Doug, listen to the first boo when it hits, because you literally hear someone go, boo! Hold on. Here we go. One more time. Look at Mike. Oh, Mike's got somebody. Oh, he's gonna love this. I love the boo. They just really get into that boo.
What's even fabulous is that Mike. It was smart of Mike to pan to the right to see the guy doing double birds.
Yeah, he was so angry. I just love how angry Roman makes people. There's someone that causes you to literally dig down deep into your throat and just really with that boo. It was just, it's beautiful. So thank you to the people that were in attendance tonight that made that happen.
This is one of those shows that I really would have loved to have the seats that we had at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Where they're up on the upper levels and you can see the crowd. And you know how much the audience and fans always say, well, we're just as much part of the show as the wrestlers are. Well, you know what? You're goddamn right, because I'm laughing at you. Okay? You are really entertaining the shit out of me. Okay? Yeah. Keep it going, please.
We had fun. We had fun people watching on the show. By the way, thanks to El Rocco 831 for subscribing, and also thank you to Jesse Thomas for subscribing to us earlier
thanks,
during
guys.
the show. We had fun people watching in Miami just because of that's when we got to experience the Yes Movement for the first time, and
firsthand.
Yeah, we realized, maybe this is going to become kind of a thing, and then it turned into what it did, but. Yeah, I had a blast people watching at WrestleMania. That's one of the fun things about going to these wrestling shows is just people watching and observing. Thank you to Houston Wrestling Radio for subscribing to us on YouTube. We appreciate that. So the Boo Birds were in full effect as they expected, and they did reference the history in Philadelphia from what 2 years ago, 3 years ago when Roman won, and they had The Rock come out, and the Rock's face is one of my favorite things of all time when they're booing loudly, and he's like, "Huh, okay, guess this didn't go too well tonight," but that was very, very fun. I enjoyed that. What'd you think of Ziggler coming out at number 30? They've been doing this angle where he was U.S. champion. He threw the belt down. Hasn't been on SmackDown since. They had a tournament. They've since crowned a new champion with Bobby Roode, and then he shows up at the end of the Rumble, and then he gets tossed out within 3-4 minutes, I think.
Not even.
Okay.
His is right now one of the most confusing characters right now. I'm trying to figure it out myself. So your character is so angry at the world that he is willing to throw away a title because he doesn't think everyone deserves for him to be a champion. But yet he wants to come out to an event and participate in an event so he'll become a champion that everyone is still going to see, that he still doesn't think everyone doesn't appreciate. I'm really conflicted with this character. I'd love to hear some explanations on Tuesday. That just seems to be the thing. I knew that sometime tonight during this show, as did happen on the 25th anniversary of Raw, that logic just went out the window. I get it's pro wrestling. Okay, I get logic gets thrown out the window, but not with a character like Dolph, where, God, what are you? What is he now? Is he just angry at the world, but he just can't help himself? And is he actually the personification of every pro wrestling fan?
I guess. I mean, he still he does the HBK, tuning up the band thing, and that he has a little record rip now for his music, and I don't know. I
seriously think he is the personification of every internet pro wrestling fan.
Could be.
He is angry at everybody, but he still can't help himself but do this.
I like it. No, that could be the gimmick right there. Is he's mad at the world. That's the Dolph Ziggler character.
Dad didn't hug him, and he's still listening to Nirvana. He still hates the world.
Still hates the world. So they basically after Rey Mysterio got tossed out, that came down to Finn, Nakamura, Reigns, and Cena. And I liked the old veteran talent versus the new talent thing they did.
Yeah, that was a nice little standoff on the 3-on-3.
That was really cool. I liked that a lot. That was well done. And I liked how when Cena tossed out Finn, it was so, I love those quick eliminations where like all of a sudden it's like, oh, bam, he's out. And then I love that. And Cena messing with the crowd a little bit. And obviously awesome call on their part to have Reigns be one of the last people, because they knew. It was funny though too, because like on Friday night, and usually it's pretty quiet leading up to these bigger shows. But on Friday night, they decided to go ahead and confirm that Roman was going to be in the Rumble. And it was hilarious to see all the comments that it got on Wrestleview and then on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram. It was like, oh, I'm so shocked that Roman Reigns is on the Royal. I was loving every second of it. I was just laughing.
Oh, sure.
So because I knew as soon as I posted it on Wrestleview, it was going to be like, oh, well, color me shocked, and oh, you don't say, and it was a lot of that stuff. So that's my impression, by the way, of everybody that goes to Wrestleview. They just go like this and they make weird noises.
You put a lot of work into that one. For me, it's just like, I knew he was going to be in it.
Yeah, I know. That's just, I can't steal your gimmick. I can't do the Doug Sounder, but I love that, just that response. So of course they knew that, and they had fun with it. And I'm so happy that they had fun with that tonight by having to be one of the last people. And Andrew said, I loved the Reigns and Cena chant that you both suck. Yeah, there was a loud you both suck chant at Roman and Cena tonight. So that was fun. But, as soon as the first person to, now I guess if you don't count the pre-show, I didn't watch much of the 2-hour pre-show.
I watched a little bit of the pre-show. I think I watched like the last 45 minutes of it.
So if you don't count that, the first person to walk out tonight was Sami Zayn, and holy shit, were they excited. So I was like, wow, how are they going to keep this enthusiasm for 4 hours? But they did. I mean, I know there was a little bit of a lull with the Raw tag title match with Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan against the Bar. But, Mike said at that point, he said a majority of the crowd left their seats, went to go take a piss. They went to go get food.
Yeah. Time to take a break.
Cause they had, and they felt, I could understand feeling very deflated after that Rumble match, because that took a lot out of people. I totally get that.
Oh yeah.
But you know, they did the smart thing where you have the big explosive Rumble match, you slow it down a little bit, you do the Raw tag title match, you do the triple threat monster match, and then boom, you end it with the women tonight. So I wasn't, you know, huge on the Raw tag title match. I liked the progression of what they were trying to do with Jason having like a concussion or something and trying to get in and then tagging out. I thought that was fine, but you know, the crowd was a little quiet. The Usos match with Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin was really good. They didn't go the typical predictable, you know, the first team wins the first fall, the other team wins the second, and it comes down to a third. They just went back to back. So I thought that was really well done tonight. So, and Chad and Shelton have really surprised me, Doug. I've been, obviously I recap SmackDown on Wrestleview, and oh man, watching Chad and Shelton try to cut promos and be interesting was a chore. And then all of a sudden, in like the last, like, I don't know, month, it just started to click. Good matches, good promos. It's working right now. So
they seem to be a lot better on promos, and this is really weird. You never really see this. They seem to be better on promos when they're in front of the crowd.
Yeah, it's weird.
Instead of being backstage where they're confined and limited to a script. That is really shocking. You really don't see that, you know. Especially from, dear Lord, there's so many performers feel better when they're in confined space, you know, and sometimes they'll get nervous if they have that microphone and they're in front of 15, 16,000 people.
Yeah.
You know, I ask Roman, you know,
Panicky Pete's,
but they are a different breed, you know, especially, I just don't know what to say about them other than maybe if they keep doing that, but at the same time, I don't know how long that act can go.
I don't know.
You know, that's the only thing. We've gotten all we can get out of this program. So I don't know what is lying in wait for that, you know, unless they want to bring in another tag team and then you have them go against them for a nice little program. Or right now, the Usos need someone to come over and mess up their world. And that sounds like that's what the Bludgeon Brothers are going to do.
Yeah.
So for the time being, that means it's ripe time to introduce a tag team into SmackDown to shake things up.
You kind of made me really start to like the Bludgeon Brothers a lot.
Oh, I did.
And I know I know the attire is really bad, but when Doug started cutting a promo the way Luke Harper and Eric, well, actually they're Harper and Rowan now.
Harper and Rowan, they don't have first names anymore.
No, the way you started speaking, the way they speak in the promos, and then I went, okay, hold on a second, maybe I need to take a step back here for a second. And now I really like it. It's so cheesy, but I like how cheesy it is, so I'm going to go with it. They didn't obviously have them on TV. Last week's TV was weird. They didn't have any of the like storylines, and they just decided to finish the U.S. title tournament. Like, oh, we're going to finish it, and then the other week was just kind of building to the Rumble. But yeah, I'm enjoying me some Bludgeon Brothers right now. It's incredibly
Bludgeon
cheesy.
Brothers are just the right amount of cheese that you need in your diet.
Absolutely.
Okay, I mean There's Bray Wyatt's sister Abigail, extremely thick fondue.
Yeah.
But then there's the light shredding on top of the pizza.
Yeah.
That is the Bludgeon Brothers.
The Bludgeon Brothers. Before we talk about
the end of your demise.
Before we talk about the WWE title match, you want to see Mike Tedesco with Jinder Mahal?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, let's take a look here. So our Raw recapper, Mike Tabasco, as we call him, got a chance to meet the former WWE champion, Jinder Mahal. And,
look at those locks on that striking young lad.
It's beautiful, beautiful locks. So that's, he said, Jinder is a good dude. Could not hinder Jinder, as a lot of people like to tweet out, that the kids like to tweet out these days. So
couldn't we have Jinder do a work photo like Paul Heyman did? Like, couldn't we have Jinder looking angry at Mike as he looks down in shame or something?
Could have. Mike's he's just a happy guy. They're like, oh hey, they just went up. Mike's just having himself a good old time in Philadelphia. So good on Mikey Tabasco. Also, before he got a great photo here of inside the Wells Fargo Center. Let me put this up on the screen.
Yeah,
look at this really panoramic shot. Look at how awesome that is. Mike just killed it for us. So we put a lot of the stuff up on Instagram. I want to thank Roy Nemmer too for helping me out tonight.
It's like he's a journalist or something.
It's like he knows what he's doing. So we had Roy Nemmer helping us out on Instagram, and then Paul was helping me out on Twitter. He was tweeting out all the Royal Rumble entrants and all the eliminations while I handled the live recap on Wrestleview. So it was a team effort on Wrestleview this evening. But look at that great shot that Mike got inside Wells Fargo Center for the. He got a nice little panoramic shot. So good on Mikey Tabasco. He's killing it for us these days. I'm pretty sure he's going to WrestleMania, like he always does every year. But he was in the house at the Rumble tonight.
There's a lot of guys I think that are listening to us right now that are going over to WrestleMania. Oh, especially the guy that listened to us, Frank. Remember last year when he took the meme to Roman Reigns?
Yeah, the Birdern.
Well, he is going to be taking his Birdern T-shirt to Roman Reigns this time at WWE Access.
That's so great. I can't wait.
Oh, dear God. Seriously, I prefer our fans and our listeners over all others just because you guys have a really good head on your shoulders and you have a lot of fun with this.
Yeah, you have a good time.
Instead of just being angry, instead of just going up to Roman Reigns at the WWE Access line and just throwing Cheetos at him.
It's like, you suck. I hate you so
You
much.
suck. God, why are you so good?
You're terrible. Yeah, no, I love our listeners. They're good people.
How far does Vince's tongue get down your throat?
I want to thank Ceflou, Ceflou. Am I pronouncing that right? How would you pronounce that? Ceflou?
Ceflou?
Yeah, Ceflou?
Ceflou.
Ceflou? Okay. Well, thank you for subscribing.
Let's call him Mark.
Thank you for subscribing to us on the YouTubes. We appreciate that.
Thanks, Mark.
Alpha Knees in the chat says, "Hey Adam, what do you think of Kenny Omega being kicked out of the Bullet Club?" I only saw a little bit of a snippet of it, but I don't. I'm not a big. That's more of a Jason Amico question because he follows it a little more closely. But I think it's interesting. I don't know if they've what direction they're going to go with the Bullet Club, but it was interesting. I can't
think of any cliches to mask my ignorance to answer that question. So sorry.
So why bother?
Yeah.
What'd you think of AJ Styles and retaining the title tonight over Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn?
Oh, that's some funny stuff right there.
Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
I really enjoy that one. What the heck is going to happen? Well, we know what the main event's going to be at WrestleMania.
Yes.
We know about that because Shinsuke with his, herpy derp face is going against AJ Styles. So
isn't there just something so lovely, Douglas, though, about Shinsuke backing up and then going, "Come on!" I love that.
Now, you know what? That is latching on to me.
It is.
What's latching on to me is his wide eyes, the mouth guard, and his tongue coming out from the mouth guard. I can't help but do it along with him because he looks like a big stupid dog when he does that. It's like he's being shown a doggy treat. He's like, come on.
He's so derpy. He's so derpy, but I love him. I just can't help it.
He's latching on to me. I can't help it.
It's fun.
And no, I still don't know what an Adam Cole is.
Yeah, there was an Adam Cole baby tonight. So I was wondering, did you put your hands up and say baby with I have to share this with you, Doug, because you will love this so much. So you were, I think it was like 2 podcasts ago, you were like, I don't know what an Adam Cole is and why people say baby and all that stuff.
Yeah, I don't get it.
So my buddy Jesse Thomas just doesn't, he did not watch Ring of Honor. He kept sending me texts. He's like, who's this Adam Cole person? And why do people say baby? And he sends me a text tonight. He goes, Adam Cole looks like a high schooler in the ring with real wrestlers. And he looks like a dork, and he just kept calling him a nerd. He was just like fire machine gun texting me like, what a dork. I hate this guy. And like, it's funny how like one part of the wrestling audience loves Adam Cole. And then your casual fan who doesn't really pay attention to that stuff looks at him like, why are they saying baby? And why is this a thing? And
right.
I love the different reactions to it, to his character, but sorry.
The thing was I watched a little bit of the pre-show, about the half hour, 45 minutes before the actual Royal Rumble. And I was already amped up for the show just from how the Philly crowd was acting when there weren't any matches going on, because they would have the clock counting down when the show was going to start. And when it got to the 10-second mark of every minute mark, the crowd was counting down 10, 9, 8, and then it would get to the next minute and they all go, Arr! I was laughing my ass off. I was like, okay, I gotta be at this crowd. Okay.
I couldn't figure out what was going on because like Ric Flair was talking and they were doing countdowns, and I'm like, why are they
were doing the countdown, and oh god, they're all cracking up on the desk. They're all cracking up. Okay. Don't get me wrong. Madison Square Garden and
frickin' New Jersey and Boston, they all have their smarks. I mean, these are horrible, horrible people. But listening to that crowd chanting down with the clock, that's a crowd that I just have to be with, just to enjoy it. But then once Roman Reigns comes out, I remember where I am.
Yeah.
And so I'm brought back to reality, But dear God, that looked like a really, really fun show. And holy hell, if people don't want to start buying tickets to WWE live events, I don't know what will.
Our friend Mikey DeBasco again came in the clutch for us, Doug. He's got a video of the crowd doing these countdowns.
Yes.
Let me put this up on the screen. I'm trying not to blow everybody's ears out. There we go. And that was with like a minute on the clock before the show even went live. So they were just sitting there the whole time.
They did that for like the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was funny.
Okay, it was just fun.
That was good stuff.
Yeah, Phoenix is going to suck.
Yeah,
next year at Phoenix, it's going to be a bore.
Okay, so let's talk about that a sec. So they've announced. I know we brushed over the WWE title match, but the finish, by the way, was awesome. How Sammy did not take the pinfall and didn't actually tag in Kevin, and then they were complaining backstage, and Shane was like, "Yeah, I don't care," and they just moved on without it. What's happening? What's happening? I love the Shane, whatever. So next year they're going to which ballpark is it again in Phoenix? It's the let me look it up here. Hold on, I'll get it here. I should have my shit together when I look this stuff up.
If only there was some kind of device that could answer all the questions.
I know if there's like a website, perhaps Wrestleview.com, which has all the information on there about it. Let me get this up here for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if we could just find the people that run that site.
It is the Chase Field Ballpark in Phoenix. So who plays? That's the Phoenix
the Diamondbacks.
Arizona
Snakes.
The Arizona Diamondbacks. Okay.
Snakes.
Everyone in the chat's like, Diamondbacks. Shut the fuck up, Adam. You don't have to try. You're right. I don't.
You're not a man.
You're not a man. You don't like to watch people hit a ball with a stick and chew tobacco and yeah.
You're not an American watching Cubans play our sport.
I don't watch football rather baseball. I watch a lot of football, but that's about it.
I'm old. I watch baseball now.
I know you do. You tweet in Facebook about it. It's glorious.
Yes.
So they're going to actually let me put this up on the screen so we can follow along on the screen as we talk about it. They are going to go to let me zoom this in here a little bit.
Going to Phoenix, Chase Field. So this is going to be outdoors. How do we feel about going outdoors, Douglas? How do you feel about that? Is that your complaint? So with 7 in the evening, it's going to be 4 o'clock over there.
Okay.
We are not going to hopefully have another Undertaker faux pas like we had at WrestleMania in San Francisco, where his entrance comes out and it's pure daylight.
Oh, I see. But Arizona is on what?
Is it Mountain Time?
I want to say it's Mountain Time.
If it's Mountain Time, then it starts at 5.
Okay,
but still, whatever. I mean, it's Royal Rumble. I mean, who the heck cares?
You just think it's going to suck because it's going to be outdoors, basically.
Well, no, I think it's going to suck because I don't think it's going to be. Man, you want to compare a Phoenix crowd to the Philly crowd that we just saw? Ugh. A rambunctious crowd inside an enclosed area compared to out on the West Coast, open air stadium. It's going to take a lot of noise to get the kind of noise that we got out of Philly.
So they're pointing out in the chat, Hayden specifically, is that this ballpark has a roof on it.
Okay, but still, that's a lot of space, and that's that's some different acoustics compared to where they were here.
So the one thing I've always heard them describe, like when they would go to big stadiums for WrestleMania, was that the noise travels up. So they would think like their match sucked, and then they would go back and watch the video, and it was actually a loud crowd, but they couldn't hear, or the reactions were delayed by a few seconds. So.
Yeah,
they just wanted last year they did it at the Alamo Dome, right?
Oh, yeah. Last year was the Alamo Dome where the really big guys needed to be on golf carts to get to the ring.
That's right. I forgot about that. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's, it's a ballpark. They're committing to Phoenix. They're going to do.
I'm going to pass my negativity right now. I'm too happy.
I know. I don't want to get negative. We've had fun tonight. But we'll see. It could be fun. I don't know. So if you're going to be in Phoenix, they're going to go balls deep on you for 4 days. They're going to do.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, you like that? They're going to go TakeOver.
You've been waiting all night to do that, even though we didn't know where the hell they were going to be doing it at.
I thought about it. I thought I'd execute it. TakeOver on the 26th, the Rumble on the 27th, Raw on the 28th, and then SmackDown on the 29th. So 4 days in a row if you're in Phoenix and you want to attend. So there you go.
Knock yourself out.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. So yeah, overall, I would say very, very happy with how this evening went, Douglas.
Can we look at the Twitter poll?
Yeah.
It should be all thumbs up. Take note of the people who said thumbs down.
Okay.
Make sure everyone who voted thumbs down, find them, get their mailing address, mail them a can of bug spray so they can spray it up their ass to get the bugs out.
Well, it's 81% thumbs up, so that's a pretty significant positive reaction.
Who in the world is the 6%?
Angry people that can you imagine if Roman Reigns won tonight, what that number would be? They would not be 81%. Would not have been 81%.
Just invert it.
We can look at the Ben Bauer said show overall was good, but wow, did they fuck that ending up? What?
No.
Is he trolling? He's got to be trolling. He's trolling. I'm not even going to acknowledge that one. How dare you, Ben? Let's see. One response, great show. It does feel nonetheless that they were trying to get Ronda in the spotlight rather than Asuka making history. We don't even know who yeah, but that was, it's Asuka still made history. Just because they didn't give her an extra 10 seconds to, pose and dance doesn't mean like it was bad. Walkie said both Rumble matches were great. I'm so happy. See, Walkie's happy. Daniel's clearly trolling, saying that the NXT show was better. How dare you, Daniel? Bronx says phenomenal show. This individual says Ronda versus Asuka at WrestleMania. And another gentleman said, I'm not feeling and entertaining about the men's Rumble. Nothing special on that match other than the Rey Mysterio return. See, another example. If Roman Reigns won, there would have been a lot of anger, but just because.
Yeah.
I mean, again, not everyone's going to love everything. I get that. It's, that's pretty common. But a couple trolls in there, I think. Pretty sure.
Well, yeah.
It has to be.
Well, they're from our page. Of course they're trolls.
Alfonsi said, what number did Nakamura come out at? He came out at number
14.
There, Doug has it before I did. Doug's on point there. Do you have any Royal Rumble fun faxy facts you could pass along, or did you want to talk about any Rumble facts? Or
man,
did you not
it's been so long since I've done Rumble facts.
I thought you had like a pad of something. You said you texted me. You had some.
I was
taking notes. Maybe is that what you meant to say?
Well, the thing is, like, what happens on our Facebook page, and you saw it there, is every year I do the Fantasy Rumble. Where it's kind of like fantasy football.
Yeah.
You take a team of 3 wrestlers, and whichever team does the best in the Rumble, you win. And it's all based on how long they last, how many eliminations they get, and who the winner is.
Yeah.
And so that's why I get all of these statistics. That's how I get all of the faxy facts and stuff. The problem is, ever since I've gotten a new computer and my old one kind of bit the dirt, that had all of my faxy facts in it.
Ooh, okay. Hopefully,
so I'm going to be honest with you. All day I was recompiling the stats. Okay. So I spent seriously 7 hours today going over old Royal Rumbles, watching some things, putting numbers together. It's kind of weird and dumb in my own therapeutic kind of way.
That's good. I like it.
But no. I really wish I could have some faxy facts on hand, because I know one of them is that I know Mark Henry is the only member on the active roster who was in one of the Royal Rumbles. I think it was like 03 or 04. Something like that. But it's just amazing when you look at these past Rumbles and how many of them these people have been in. Do you realize The Miz has been in 11 Royal Rumbles?
Yeah, they
11.
Yeah, they said that tonight, I think, on commentary. I think they mentioned it. So that was, I didn't even
And they're fucking liars. Jinder Mahal this is his 3rd Royal Rumble.
What did they say?
They claimed that this was his first one.
Oh, wow.
But it was absolutely not. This was his 3rd one.
Are they trying to pretend like previous Jinder didn't exist or something, or?
Well, yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That was like 3MB Ginger. I'll always call him Ginger.
And the 3MB is back in the company again, but one's injured, so that wasn't. I was hoping for a 3MB reunion, but maybe they'll save that for next year.
Yeah.
Jamel Watson says, "Are you guys excited for the Andre the Giant documentary on HBO?" Yes, I've been watching that one super close. That's been in development for a long time, and that comes out this April, Douglas. So I'm looking forward to that. We just tossed up a new trailer for it I think on Friday on Wrestleview, and they played it tonight during the Rumble. So that's a WWE produced documentary with HBO. Just so you know. Bill Simmons, Bill Simmons, Doug. He helped to develop that one too with Vince McMahon. So.
Oh yeah, he's the Joker who knows everything.
Yeah,
or thinks he knows everything.
Yeah, well, he's a big wrestling fan too, so he helped make that one happen. But they interviewed Hogan, Lawler, Vince, Mean Gene, tons of people.
I saw Billy Crystal. They're going to have cast from Princess Bride is going to be on there.
That's right. So that's going to be a good one. And they have a new WWE 24 documentary about WrestleMania last year. That was going live after the Rumble went off the air. So
I caught a handful of minutes of it before we went on the air. Yeah. It is a very, very interesting watch.
Nice. And they're basically just they follow people around. Because there was another WrestleMania WWE 24, but this one's more like specific people maybe, or is it?
No, it's actually just everyone showing up to the set and everyone telling what they're feeling going into the show.
Oh, okay.
Nice. In some shots you've got Miz and Maurice are in the van heading towards the set. You've got Undertaker in the van heading towards the set. You've got everyone sharing their thoughts.
Nice. I like it.
That's what it is. It's a great no narrator. It's just everyone giving their firsthand thoughts on what they're seeing and what they're thinking.
I like it. I'm going to check that out. I love when they do these documentaries, and they've been, I guess
wall documentaries are great.
Those are great, and I guess they were following The Undertaker and Sean Waltman around for the Raw 25 show, so at some point that'll come out. And they're doing a new series where they follow someone for an entire year. They just did it with Kevin Owens, and they show you thoughts and progression of that person over the course of over a year. So I love those. Those are my favorite part about the network. So good stuff. Good times. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we need to hit. There was a lot of news, obviously, since we've last done a podcast. Enzo Amore got released. That was a big story. So there was a lot of stuff going on with that we've covered. It was just a big week with the Raw 25 show. Wrestleview celebrating 20 years, Doug. We have that fancy little 20 logo now that we're using. We talked about that on this past Monday night with Paul Nemmer, the owner of Webmaster.
Get that beer out of your hand, WrestleView. You're not of age yet.
Exactly. We're not quite 21. Also, there's another little bit of an anniversary that I don't even know if you're quite aware of tonight. So 1 year ago, the same pay-per-view, the Rumble, we started broadcasting live on YouTube. So yeah, it's a little bit of it's not so much of an anniversary of this podcast, but us going live on YouTube. So I just realized that when I was going through the archives the other day. So, and last but not least, we got to plug something that you're going to be up to starting this week, right?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So starting Wednesday, for the past month or 2 months, I have been revamping my gear. You see up here, new microphone. I'm on a new camera. There's a sheet behind me, so you can't see all the fun things that happen on the bed behind it.
You going to get a green screen at some point or something like that?
I hope to. That, or I've actually got, remember that banner you gave me a long time ago? I think there was a Wrestleview banner. I'm going to be putting that up there.
Okay.
I'm going to do that. I have bumped up the internet connection as high as it can go because I am going to be debuting on Twitch Wednesday, 8 o'clock sharp Eastern, for 2 hours of what I'm calling Wrestleview Weekly.
And this is twitch.tv/Doug Wrestleview?
Doug Wrestleview.
Okay.
Yep, is the channel. 2 hours going over past news items, for the past week, talking about SmackDown and Raw for the previous week, maybe touching up on things that we didn't touch on with the pay-per-view. But the big segment that I'm throwing out there is during this show that I'm doing on Twitch, there's this particular segment it's called Doug No Cells.
I just saw the offline image you have on the Twitch channel. Sorry, I got distracted.
Oh, no, that's fine. You can show that too.
This is great, Doug.
So there's a segment that I'm doing. It's called Doug No Cells.
Okay.
And what this is where, yep, there you go. It's where you, the viewer, send me matches to watch on the stream.
Okay. Now, these matches, number one, they cannot be on the WWE network.
No.
They cannot be on a pay-for site. They have to be on YouTube. They have to be on Daily Motion. They have to be on something that everyone can see. But what I will do is I will blindly watch a wrestling match, because so often I'm told, and I'm sure you're told, and everyone's told that, well, if you didn't see this match, you don't call yourself a wrestling fan. Damn it, Doug. You write for Wrestleview.com and you don't know anything about this. Well, educate me.
Yeah.
Okay. Show me what the hell is so great, and I'll watch it. And on the docket that I have is, so the very first thing I did was, of course, consult Dave Meltzer's database of 242-star matches. So on the docket is Kenny Omega versus Kazuchika Okada.
Okay.
This is their third match from last year's G1 Climax.
This is a good match.
I'll be the judge of that.
I will be surprised if you don't like this.
I'll be the judge of that.
Okay, I'll have to watch.
Okay.
So this is at, you said
Apparently,
8 Eastern, 7 Central, or 7?
yes, 8 Eastern,
Okay.
7 Central, whatever time zone that you're in, it is a different number.
Okay.
But it'll be a good 2 to 3 hours of nothing but, talking wrestling stuff. Hop in the chat, join in the conversation. I will acknowledge you better in text than over the phone.
Nice.
I'm better at that than over the phone. Believe me, my girlfriend knows that. So, yeah, it's going to be lots of fun, stupid stuff.
And this is twitch.tv/Doug Wrestleview. So go on the page, give it a follow. And
You'll not see Michael Cole sleeping.
I just love that was a wonderful image to currently offline. So yeah, this Wednesday, that is January the 31st, everybody. So go check that out. I'm going to be checking it out too, because I love going on. I usually watch gamers and stuff on Twitch, but there are talk shows. So I will definitely check this out.
I am on there. They have got a 24/7 food channel that does nothing but publicly broadcasted food shows. They do old game shows that are on there that I've seen too.
Nice.
And there's a lot of the stuff that I watch on there is just a whole mishmash of stuff. I really don't watch a lot of people playing PUBG or Call of Duty or anything like that. I like watching different stuff like creative channels.
They also
like
have
that.
a 24-hour streaming Impact Wrestling channel, Doug. Are you pumped about that one?
I so am.
You can watch TNA all day. It's not TNA anymore, but it's Impact Wrestling.
Thank God the stream is only 2 hours long.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. So this Wednesday night, Doug Lackey will be on the twitch.tv/Doug Wrestleview. So give it a follow and check it out live. And of course, if you missed the live broadcast, it'll be archived in the video section of his channel as well.
Yep.
So, and people will be able to make donations and stuff while you're doing this.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Sign up. Keep it going.
Absolutely.
Keep the sucker going. Hey, if you want TNA recaps, come on. Come on, subscribe.
There's potential there, everybody. That's good. Good.
Hey,
I like that. I like
you
that.
want a TNA recap? We'll do it. I'm also setting up goals to where I know the very first goal I'm doing is the first. Once we hit 100 subscribers, I will sit down and watch an entire day of Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh God bless your soul there. I'm not
Okay, I will watch whatever blindly. Pick a Wrestle Kingdom. I'll watch it.
It's like 4 hours. That's a
well,
long
then there
time.
you go.
That's good. That's a long
It's
time.
only 4 hours. I was thinking doing more.
I think it might be more actually. I'll real quick, Doug. They were asking in the chat what we thought of the TakeOver show. I only watched the main event. Did you watch the whole show, or did you even watch it?
No, I watched the whole thing because the girlfriend decided not to go out last night. I told her I was going to watch TakeOver, so we had to get more tequila. So,
I had a similar situation that I got home and I realized it was on, and I'm like, oh, I'll watch. And the main event was just starting, so the only thing I watched was the main event, so I can't comment on anything else. But I loved that main event, and then I went on our Facebook group and people were just shitting all over it, and I was very surprised because that was the first match in a long time, probably since Sasha and Bayley, where I actually found myself caring about the winner, like because of the commentary, because of Mauro Ranallo and Percy Watson. Like they were making me care about what was happening in the match. Like they were describing it in front of their face.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the finisher kick out vibe that everybody else was getting.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was bad. And I don't know if that's me giving it a pass.
That's good for you because you jumped into this blindly. Okay, I mean, you just turned it on and you don't know what Andrade Almas's character is.
A little bit,
you
not
only
much.
know that Johnny Gargano is the underdog, never say die, has a heart of gold but a brain of mush guy.
He's
okay.
People call him Johnny Wrestling for some reason. I don't know why, but they do.
Well, sounds a lot better than Johnny Football, I guess. I don't know.
But people were making Daniel Bryan comparisons to him. They said that he could be the next Daniel Bryan babyface and peril kind of guy. And I totally see it. I get it. I think I'm on board. I'm on the Johnny Wrestling train right now. I thought that was a fucking phenomenal main event. I loved every second
for
of
it as long as he gets his ass destroyed by someone.
We kind of did a little bit. He was getting beat up, and then I guess that was what I thought was so intriguing, is that right where you thought a match was going to end, it didn't end. And then it would keep going, and you go, okay, well, this is the finish. Oh, that's not the finish. And because these pro wrestling presentation main events are so predictable, and you think it's going to be a finish, and it's not a finish. I loved the submission, him hanging Almas in the submission, and Almas was like real close to tapping out, and then you had asshole, what's her name? Sarita? What's or not Sarita?
I think it's Rosita.
Rosita. Zelina Vega, is that her name or something like that?
Yeah, Zelina Vega, but we will always call her Rosita.
Rosita, but her doing the chicken shit heel stuff at the end where they're like, oh, God damn it, dog. Why is she out here doing this? And I loved it. I guess, you disagree, but I fucking loved it. I thought it was great.
Well, no, my problem with it is I totally get it that Gargano kicks out. Okay, I got no problem with that. He's, the never say die underdog. I get that. But Almas should not be kicking out. He's the chicken shit heel. He's got the hot chick doing Hurricane Ranas on the outside to make sure that he wins. That doesn't make sense. I think the match to me lasted way longer than what it should have.
Which I saw that critique of it, that it could have trimmed someone.
This did not deserve a half hour.
I think Renee said it was a match that if you had to compare it to like a steak, you could have trimmed a little more fat off the steak, and it would have been. He said it was still a good steak, but you could have cut a little bit of the fat out.
Oh yeah. The ribeye was cooked to perfection, but holy fuck, you got gypped. There's a lot of fat on it.
I liked it though, man. I guess, but again, you're right though. I strictly parachuted into the main event.
And that's awesome that you came in blindly and you liked it.
I didn't see anything else. I didn't see Adam Cole and Aleister Black. I didn't see Velveteen Dream and Cassius Ohno or whoever wrestled.
Velveteen Dream and Cassius Ohno is fun.
Okay.
Velveteen Dream right now is a treasure to behold.
Nice.
Okay. If you need just the right amount of sexual ambiguity in your life, you need Velveteen Dream.
Need a little bit of that in you. Okay.
He is the character that Orlando Jordan wished he could have been.
That spraying weird white fluid. I'll never forget that. Orlando Jordan walking out on stage at TNA and squeezing white liquid all over it.
Yeah.
And then like Rob Terry was like, well, like he was supposed to be like reacting to it, but even he was like, okay.
But even him had a look on his face like a dog that had been shown a card trick.
Yeah, it's like, I guess we're doing this. All right. And yeah. But, okay, I'll have to check that out then. I only saw the main event.
Actually, I'll fill you in. Houston Wrestling Radio brought it up in the chat room. So basically, Velveteen Dream and Cassius Ohno have got a match together. And Velveteen claims that he could knock out Cassius Ohno in 30 seconds.
Okay.
And so within 30 seconds, he connects a forearm and Ohno falls to the floor. He's supposed to pin him, but Velveteen is jumping up and down and everything. He's chanting. The crowd is counting 1, 2, 3. They count to 10. Velveteen's going nuts. He's won. Yeah, I win. And then Ohno comes up and blasts him in the face.
Oh, that's great. Okay. I can go with that.
I mean, it's just fun stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Stop it if you're saying Velveteen needs to be brought to the main roster.
Well, let it breathe a little bit. People get very excited about people on the main roster, but
and Cassius Ohno can be a lot better if he did a lot less pirouettes and had more pants.
Yeah,
You'll understand why.
Okay, I'll have to watch. He's been wearing like basketball jerseys though. Was he wearing that again, or he does?
No, he's wearing the jerseys. It's just he needs to wear pants.
Okay, so just that doesn't go well. He's kind of
no, it doesn't. He shaves his legs, but doesn't shave his mustache, his beard, or get a haircut. It looks really weird.
It's kind of a dumpy body. Although I feel bad criticizing other men's bodies. Like I have like fucking 6-pack and I'm ripped. Like, but he does have kind of a weird dumpy body. It's kind of.
Oh, I can. I have 5% body fat. I'll go ahead and criticize it to heaven on high.
I always love when like very overweight wrestling fans are critiquing how wrestlers look. I was like, well, I looked at your Twitter profile and you probably shouldn't be.
If I had to pick a bread food byproduct that he is a tube of Grand's biscuits from Pillsbury.
Okay, I go with that.
Doughy,
fluffy, but he is kind of fun.
I saw an interview he did with Sam Roberts where he had a bunch of back injuries, and he said basically I got a little lazy with my diet and I had some back problems and that happened. But he's like also though he made a funny point. He's like I grew up watching fat guys wrestle, so now all of a sudden it's a problem when I'm a fat guy. So I was like, well, yeah, okay, valid point.
If he can embrace that and become the next Buddy Rose, I'm all for it.
That's what he was talking about. He goes, I used to watch wrestling where guys had guts just piling over their trunks and they were beating the shit out of guys and no one gave a shit about their six pack. But yeah, that's kind of the new norm though. So yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. Can we talk about what they are going to be doing with 205 Live?
Yeah, that's the Tuesday, right? They're going to be doing a new GM, and they got rid of Enzo, and the Zoe train's done, Douglas. No more.
I am actually interested in 205 Live now.
Really? Well, how for us?
Because now they're going to introduce a GM, because that means they're finally going to have a main character on this goddamn show.
That is true. They've missed that. That's
They have no storyline continuity at all, and now it looks like they're going to have something for it. You know,
Houston Wrestling Radio predicts it's going to be the Hurricane. He'd actually be a good fit for that show, given his cruiserweight background.
He would be perfect.
He had a very funny tweet earlier this week when they fired Enzo, and he was holding up the old WCW cruiserweight title and the new WWE one. He goes, "Well," he's like, "I got nothing to do," and he was just holding up the belts. And he's a good social media follow. If you don't follow Shane Helms, he's very entertaining, very funny. Yeah, right now it's a 30-minute show because they've been doing. Have you watched any of the Mixed Match Challenge? Because I literally
those are so much fun.
I have to I get high blood pressure because I'm covering SmackDown, and I literally SmackDown ends, and I have Facebook Live on my second monitor, and I have to just seamlessly transition from covering SmackDown to that. And thankfully, they wait 10 minutes to do entrances, but I love how quick and fast paced they just get in and get out within 20 minutes on Facebook Live. So I love it. Yeah. I think it's great, but it gives me high blood pressure on Tuesday nights. But other than that, it's great. I would prefer if somebody would help me cover that show on WrestleView, but no one offered, so I have to quickly go, oh god,
SmackDown's done. I might get a stroke, but I like it anyway.
Yeah, it gives me I become a little panicky because I'm trying to finish SmackDown. I'm like, oh, this is what I think of SmackDown. Then I got fucking Carmella just moonwalking. I'm like, oh god, SmackDown was really good and I enjoyed it. And then I'm just hurrying up trying to cover the Facebook Live show. I'm panicky Pete. But yeah, that's my Tuesday nights. It would be hilarious.
I could just see you going, oh, here's a SmackDown. So, we're good.
Literally, I'm trying to get my final SmackDown thoughts out on Twitter, and fucking Carmella and Big E are dancing and eating pancakes, and I'm like, oh Jesus, it started, and I'm just totally just rushing as fast as I can. But yeah, they a lot of people are complaining they can't see it. Shifty Gism
just wait and watch it on the WWE network then.
Well, yeah, he said I at least put it on a device, but yeah, they put it up on the network, so it's yeah, there you go. They're doing a little test on Facebook to see how Facebook will, because there's a big that was another thing, Doug, which maybe we'll get to in another podcast. Variety did an article on Monday about the TV rights and how Facebook is flirting with WWE. Amazon's kind of giving them a little bit of a wink. Fox is also kind of saying, hey, I got a party and you want to come over. And so I just did a lot of sexual
we couldn't keep Family Guy, but we'd love to keep you.
Yeah. They lost Family Guy?
Well, no, I'm talking about the mishaps that they had when they first had Family Guy.
Oh, that's
the first
right. Okay.
2 seasons. And no, we don't need them. Wait, people actually like this show. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. And Acer points out in the chat that Facebook Watch is only available in the US, and he is correct by that. So I get a lot of people like, I'd like to watch it, Doug, but I can't fucking watch it. I get a lot of that angry Twitter response as I'm watching the show, but it's on the network, as Doug pointed out, so you can watch it either way.
I'd like to watch it. I just don't live in the greatest country in the world.
Son of a bitch. They do need to watch their mics, Doug, though, because the referee loudly said, Asuka's going over. Real loud on Tuesday. I went, okay. So I literally scrolled down and went, winners, Asuka and The Miz. And then that was my Tuesday night. So I don't think he realized how loud he said that. He got a little John Cena, but whoops. Oh, well, it happens. They'll learn from their mistakes with that show.
Asuka and Miz is real fun.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's fun stuff.
Especially her just yelling random Japanese. And he's like, yeah, what she said. And so whatever she just said, absolutely. I'm all for that. That worked out nice. All right, I'm looking at the calendar, Douglas, and
yes,
our next WWE pay-per-view is February the 25th, which is the Elimination Chamber. So by my calculations, that is 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks away. So we will have no podcast for the next 4 weeks. But
Hey.
You'll be watching stuff on Twitch to get people
Hey, how you doing?
So twitch.tv/DougWrestleview. So give Doug a follow. And I'm definitely going to check it out on Wednesday. I'm very excited.
Send me your match ideas and match stuff that you want me to watch. Send it to me on my Twitter handle.
There you go. At Doug
Wrestleview.
It's right there on the graphic, right below your head. So you can just point right down. Yeah, right there.
It's right down there on the thing.
Right there on the thingies. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. I know we showed up a little late, but I was panicking because of the Ronda Rousey stuff, and I called.
Yeah, blame Ronda.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey literally signed with the company, and she was doing interviews, and I panicked, and I had to get it up on Wrestleview, so it happens. But we were here, and we did a podcast.
Yeah, Goose. Yeah, Daniel, go bitch at Ronda. See what happens.
I know. As soon as I open the chat, I'm like, I know they're going to be complaining that I'm late, and they're like, where the fuck is Martin at? What's he doing? And I'm like,
we had the table set. We cooked a beautiful roast for you. Yeah. Where the hell are you?
I think they just think I sit back in my chair and just go like, yeah, maybe I'll think about going live in like 5 minutes. I'll just, like I'm just sitting here doing nothing. They're just a bunch of angry people on the Facebooks. All right, we will talk to you again in 4 weeks for the Elimination Chamber. Is that a SmackDown show or is that a combo show?
That is a Raw show.
Really?
It is a Raw show.
Okay.
Prepare yourself for Braun Strowman in the big steel box.
Okay, for some reason
he's going to be locked in a pod. Fuck the random drawing. He is destroying everything. Okay.
So
yes.
Let me put this up on the screen so we can all follow along together.
Yes.
Yeah, you are right. That is a Raw show. So they have the full schedule out. We put it up on Wrestleview. There is 14 shows this year, down from 16 last year.
Thank God.
The Chamber is Raw, like you said. Fastlane on the 11th of March is SmackDown, and then WrestleMania. And then I think the only combined shows they're doing is the Rumble, WrestleMania, Money in the Bank in June, and then SummerSlam and then Survivor Series. Everything else is brand-based.
So they're doing Money in the Bank now is going to be combined.
Yeah, so they've expanded that from 4 to 5 this year. But so there we go. Backlash will be Raw, then Payback will be SmackDown. So that'll get us through the summer. But coming up, so we'll be back in 4 weeks for the Chamber.
Is this 25th. A scary thought to think that they're going to try to make Money in the Bank one of the big four?
I don't think so. I think based on the stipulation of the briefcase and all that stuff, I think it's fine. I think they'll be okay.
I'm curious. We'll see how long that lasts.
We will see. We will find out. We'll be here to talk about it either way. Right, Doug? Right?
I know, you betcha.
Right here on YouTube. Just look at Wrestleview Radio.
Just like, share, and subscribe us.
There you go. Like share and subscribe. We do like when you subscribe, though. And we do appreciate that. All right. We will talk to you again in a couple weeks. Join Douglas on the twitch.tv/DougWrestleview this Wednesday. 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central. Is that right? Did I get that right?
That is correct, sir.
Okay. And then, of course, WrestleView.com. We got some fun little designy changes coming this week, and we're going to pump up that big timeline that we went over last Monday with Paul Nemmer. Mm-hmm. And a whole bunch of fun stuff. We're expanding. We're getting some new writers. People that have contacted me, I'm sorry if I have not emailed you back. I will this week. I just had a lot going on. And, we got Raw coverage tomorrow night with Mike, covering SmackDown on Tuesday. And then, a whole bunch of stuff going on. Just keeps on going. Train keeps on moving.
Yeah, the office is getting new curtains, so we got to get prepared.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. All right, everybody. We will talk to you in 4 weeks for the Elimination Chamber, which will be presented by Raw in Las Vegas. So look forward to that.
Braun destroys the big giant box.
That too.
Okay.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I can't wait till he just punches out the pod. Like they try to lock him in and he just punches it out. And then he just goes like, sorry.
He just shrugs it off. Yeah. I've got anger issues. What can I say?
I'm an angry person. What do you put me in a pod? What do you expect to happen here? So
yeah, man. My dad never hugged me. I still listen to Nirvana.
I really cannot wait till he punches the pod. If that's totally gonna happen. That's totally gonna happen. All right, everybody. We will talk to you in a couple weeks for the Elimination Chamber. Look for us on YouTube. Type in Wrestleview or go to youtube.com/WrestleviewRadio. Subscribe, and you'll find out every time we go live here on YouTube's. And then if you'd rather listen to us instead of stare at us, which I don't blame you, look up Wrestleview Media on SoundCloud or iTunes, and you can subscribe to the audio version of this podcast. So until then, Douglas, say goodbye to everybody.
Bye, everybody, until Wednesday.
All right, and we will talk to you again in 4 weeks. Bye. Thanks, Doug.
You got it.